Obviously, a big game for us coming up. What those 3 points would mean to us, especially at home in front of our fans on 4th of July, which should be a really spectacular event. I know it's the biggest fireworks show in Colorado, which is pretty cool, where our fans get to sit on the pitch. Very unique experience. So from the festivities before the game, hopefully during the game, and then after the game, I think it sets up to be a really good night for us. But we want to take from these last games. We've scored 7 goals in 2 games. 2 of them didn't count against the Galaxy. We've got our attack moving a little bit here, and of course we would have loved all the points in New England, but I was proud of the way the guys stepped on the pitch. We went on the road to win, and that was clear. The mentality when we stepped on the pitch. The guys were saying that we are at home on any field, which I loved hearing them say this. And it probably was going to take an own goal and for me, a very soft penalty in a game like this for us not to get all the points. But this is football, so we'll build upon it and learn from it.
Chris, you talk about 7 goals in 2 games versus 0 before that. How much of that is the left-right KDP and Calvin partnership? The players, the position you put them in, or what the defense has been giving you the past 2 matches?
I think it's a combination of many things. I think Kulu DiPietro has been knocking on the door. Calvin had a different type of energy at the start of a game that we gave him to give him those minutes early on. But I think when you look at the nature of the goals, some from counterpressing, some from the mid-block defending, we punish in transition. Some are from just really good possession and structure. We've been working a lot in our build and on balancing and different ways we build, with 3 in the back, with the game before, as you asked the question that night, with kind of like wing backs and that 3-2-5 structure. So we've worked hard at this. So we like that we've manufactured these and it fits into our style of play. So yeah, and I think with that comes confidence, from guys, and some guys even playing, some guys really sharp, getting sharp here. Hoffa coming off the injury from not too long ago, but you can see each game he's looking sharper and sharper. He scores a great goal in New England. So had a couple of moments at the Galaxy. So yeah, guys are heating up, I think, at the right time.
Coach, this past game against New England Revolution felt like a very total team defensive type of game. We saw Calvin coming back a lot, Ku coming back a lot, helping to the defensive effort, and then obviously leading to a scoreless first half and then a scoreless first 55 minutes, actually. What have you seen just from the defensive efforts of the attackers, making sure that everyone's on the same page and the back line is kind of keeping everyone in check in that regard?
Yeah, listen, everything we do around here is in mind to score goals. Everything. We defend corner kicks to try to score a goal in transition. So defending to attack is a big theme of a big part of our style of play and who we are. So even one of the goals we score, we win the ball in the very deep corner and we go and score a goal. So when we talk today about some of this stuff, we can say, here's why we do this again. But if we're being honest, if you watch the very best teams, the Liverpools, Madrid, Barcelona these days for sure, they all defend. All the attackers, the highest paid players in the world, defend. So that is the way. In the modern game, you cannot just hang out a bit unless it's a very unique situation. But for us, it's got to be. We have attackers that defend, and sometimes in this game it was Calvin dropping lower and Ku a little bit higher. But you see Rafa and Yapi coming back into the game to just help disrupt attacks, and it took all of us. And you can see how difficult it is still. But we also talk to our defenders about being the first attackers. When we win the ball, can they have an eye forward? Can they connect the first pass? Can they? Our fullbacks think about being the difference makers in attack. So it's all connected. But for sure, on the road, when you score the first goals, you're going to have to suffer at times defensively, and we had to do that for large stretches.
Coach, 164 minutes for Calvin in the past 2 matches. You called his start in LA a hunch. What is he showing you now that he wasn't showing you earlier in the season?
Well, I would say that with Calvin, he's been plugging away. He's been he's been pushing hard, and for me, what I've liked in the last couple of months is that he's just put his head down and showing that a team first mentality and just a real commitment to what we're trying to do with and without the ball. So I see a guy that what I've seen when you don't get all the starts like this, it's a real hunger and desire. That's where my hunch came from. Yeah, he's a guy that enjoys scoring goals and he runs behind, which is a quality that when we had Kevin out there, Kevin gives us that deep option. So Calvin fit the bill of what we were looking for, and he's tactically smart, and we keep things structured in a way that makes it simple for him. And in the roles he's grabbed it and he's gotten some timely goals. But I think it's probably a hunger and confidence now. That's been the difference.
Coach, Darren just got his first Team of the Matchday nomination for this past weekend, the 2 assists, making it 3 goals, 2 assists on the year for him. What have you seen from him in terms of hunger, desire? I mean, we see him here still finishing, doing drills. What are you seeing from him right now that makes you really excited, I guess, for what's to come this next part of the season?
It's probably the thing that I love most about working with young players. I'm a patient coach, and I think a lot of people want to work with young players and say, we want to go young. But I've been around a lot of young players, the young John Tolkins, Tyler Adams, and it takes time. So, but what you love most about the young players is the attitude, the hunger. They love committing to the team. They can run, they can repeat. Oftentimes, right, this is what I'm saying. But with Darren, what I think you've seen from, just call it 24 to 25, and each month now in this year is just kind of like a rapid growth and a maturity and comfort what we're doing, comfort in his own abilities. Last year he would say, Coach, I don't know. I got how many games, no goals, 50 appearances, no goals. The weight of the world was on that first goal. And I think that helped. Getting the first one, hearing the fans chant his name helps. Quite honestly, an injury that put him on the sideline for a few months, I think helps. Gain some perspective and take a step back to come back with a renewed desire and even listen to more of the tactics and what's being asked. And now he just comes back, looks like he's 3 years older in a really short time. But if we're being honest, goals help strikers. And honestly, I think I have a really good staff around me, and we have a lot of patience. But we try to create clarity for him, and I think that's helped.
You talked about coming back from injury. Cole looks to be back to good soon. Where's he slotted in formationally once he's good to go?
Yeah, it becomes a challenge to get all the guys out there now, where in the middle of the pitch, like Connor Ronan's been knocking on the door, has been really sharp in training. I think he came in last game even and gave us a spark that we needed. So for Cole, I think he's very versatile, but centrally is probably as one of the double pivots is probably something that he enjoys most. Is that where he plays? Not sure, but we like him in the middle of the field, the way he helps build our attacks and the energy that he can provide from that part of the field. So yeah, it was important and really nice to see him out there today in full strength and really close.
Kansas City interim head coach Kerry Zavanen and yourself have played in 4 U.S. national team matches, 1 World Cup qualifier, 3 friendlies. Can you speak to that familiarity with Kerry? Do you guys know each other well? What do you expect for Friday?
Yeah, I know Kerry from my times in playing against him many times in MLS, and his teammate on the national team. I know you mentioned how many games we played together, a few, but we were in a lot of national team camps together. You get to know people as players and people, and he's top-notch human being, and he's a really smart football guy. So I'm happy that I know Peter also really well, and it's always hard to change. And we all hope to have and sustain a career like that as a coach, like Peter did. But now when you see Kerry step in and try to put maybe his own little stamp on things and change it up a little bit, you're changing the whole thing, but putting your little stamp on it, that's what he'll do. I'm sure of it. We see the way the team's playing. They're playing with a certain spirit now. Sometimes you see that with coaching changes, but with Kerry out, it'll be great to see him. It'll be great to compete against him, as we always did as players. And, mostly that he's really a smart guy. Tactically, he's smart, he's clever. He's been in it now for many, many years as a coach. So it'll be great to see him, and yeah, it's good that he's got the opportunity.